I think it's the ego, external driven goals are probably how most companies get started. There's a lot of success that way, but also comes a lot of emptiness. And I know others who have a same journey. Do you think you have to climb that first mountain and realize it wasn't everything that you thought it was going to be? Hello and welcome to the FasterFreedom Show. I am your host for today, Lucas Walls, and Mr. Sam Prim is out on vacation still, hopefully avoiding shark attacks on the beach down in Florida. Today we got an awesome episode with you, Mr. Mark Podolsky, the Land Geek. So the thing about real estate is that there's many paths to financial freedom, but nobody talks about this particular method. Mark has created a simple process for buying land and turning it into cash flowing assets. That's what he's going to share with us today. Mark, welcome to the FasterFreedom Show.
Lucas, thank you so much for having me.
It's just great to hear your voice, and probably for you to hear mine. We had some technical difficulties earlier, but we're gonna survive.
Yeah, no, awesome. And I love the idea of fast freedom.
Yeah, we like to get there fast. We like to do things fast, and not necessarily it's like happened overnight or anything, but it took us 10 years to get to where we're at today, and I'm sure probably similar story to you, but a lot faster than the traditional way of working 40 years and putting a little bit in retirement.
No, 100%. 100%.
Sweet, Mark. Well, I'm excited about this episode number one, just because it's so different than what we do here, working on houses and kitchens and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of parallels and similarities. So excited to dig in what you do with land, aka the Land Geek, Mark Podolsky. Is that how you pronounce it first, Mark?
Yeah, Podolsky.
Podolsky.
Pretty good.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, so let's just get started, Mark. Just maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of where you came from, and how you got into real estate in general.
Yeah. So let's rewind the tape to 2000.
Ooh.
And I was a miserable, micromanaged, 45-minute commute to work and back investment banker, specializing in mergers and acquisitions with private equity groups. And Lucas, it got so bad for me, I wouldn't get the Sunday blues anticipating Monday coming around. I'd get the Friday blues anticipating the weekend going by really fast and having to be back at work on Monday. So my firm hires this guy, and he's telling me that as a side hustle, he's buying up raw land, pennies on the dollar, he's flipping them online, and he's making a 300% return on his investment. And I'm looking at companies all day long. And a great company, has 15% EBITDA margins or free cash flow. Average company's 10%. I'm looking at companies all day long, less than 10%. So of course, I don't believe him. So I've got $3,000 saved up for car repairs. I go to New Mexico with him. I go to this tax deed auction. I buy up 10 half-acre parcels, an average price of $300 each. I flip them online, and they all sell for an average price of $1,200 each. It worked 300%. So I took all that money. I went to another auction in Arizona, which is where I live. And again, this is 2000. There's no one in the room. And I'm buying up lots and acreage for like nothing. I sell all that land and I made over $90,000 cash. So I go to my wife and she's pregnant. I said, honey, I'm gonna quit my job and become a full-time land investor. And she said, absolutely not. So I said, okay. So it took 18 months for the land investing income to exceed the investment banking income. And then I quit. I've been doing it full-time ever since. I've done over 6,000 transactions and counting, and absolutely love it.
That's incredible. Cool. And what is your, I would love to know what your portfolio of raw land looks like now. And maybe, I don't even know a way to look at that, number of acres or number of notes you have out there or whatever it is. Tell me what you got in the portfolio now.
I mean, we're managing over 2,000 notes, and we have hundreds and hundreds of properties for sale all throughout the country. We're probably one of the largest players in the country.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
In our space.
And from a due diligence standpoint, a couple questions. Is there anything physical that you need to do to view the property and make sure it's suitable for some type of use? And then are you ever closing on the property without being able to sell it first?
We have a really simple business philosophy. We can make more money, we can't get more time. It's not efficient and it doesn't scale for me to go out and look at every property. So what we're going to do is for $50, a local Craigslist gig, and have somebody go out and look at the property for us if we're unfamiliar with that area. And we'll give them our property checklist and we'll have them shoot video, we'll have them take pictures. We want to know what are the neighbors doing, how far from the nearest services, What is the road like? Everything that a buyer is going to want to know. And then we'll double check that they're in the right spot. Through GPS coordinates, we'll have them download an app called What 3 Words. So we'll know if they're close or not to that property. So that's going to be the due diligence piece.
Can you talk through your sales process? So you send out these mailers, someone raises their hand. What does it look like to, number one, what are some distress points of the seller that you've seen in the past? And talk through what that actual sales process looks like with your team.
So typically they're all going to be distressed in some way, in the sense that I had a dream and it wasn't realized when I bought this piece of raw land. And now I'm paying property taxes every single year and I have no use for it. So imagine if I made an offer 25, 30 cents a dollar for everything in your garage that you're not using. You'd be thrilled.
Yeah, take it.
Like, okay, take it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the same avatar that we're going after on the raw land. On the sales side, it's just marketing it and making it irresistible on these platforms and just making affordable land. And you've got this asset you don't have to maintain, you don't have to protect. Can't be stolen, can't be destroyed, and it lasts forever. You got a legacy investment. You can go out there, you can use it recreationally. There's usually not a lot of restrictions, and so it's the ultimate asset.
Yeah, I love it. What were some of the main challenges for you in your business going through 2008 and the financial crisis?
For me, well, my one saving grace, and the reason I didn't have to go and really I could stay in the land business, was I didn't over leverage. So I didn't use any debt. So I owned all these properties outright. So my big challenge was literally just figuring out my own personal lifestyle and dealing with the loss of that income and rebalancing the pricing on my land portfolio, because I'd never gone through it. Just the prices just kept going up, up and up. And then all of a sudden, like one day, it seemed like, wait, no one's paying me anymore. I'm profitable. My lifestyle is so high now at this point. I have to pivot personally, even though professionally, I'm figuring out like, what does the market want at this point, and trying to crack that puzzle at that time.
Yeah. So it was more challenging.
So I'd have to deal with like banks. I'd have to deal with investors.
Yeah.
So it was much more simple than what a typical multifamily syndicator or
you are the bank
person was dealing with.
So you're the one that went through that challenge, right? So the challenge was not less buyers for your new stuff, but your old stuff. It sounds like maybe there was some more default than there was in the past on some of those notes.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're at maybe a 10 to 12% default rate because we don't do credit checks, which is great. We don't actually kind of like defaults because it lowers our cost basis, and then we sell it again.
Mm-hmm.
We get a new down payment, we get new monthly payments, and extends out our yield and our ROI.
Dude, I love it. We should get into land, Shane. What do you think? You got a family, it sounds like. You're running a pretty large scale business. When you have extra time these days, Mark, how do you like to spend it?
To me, it's all about deepening my relationships. I wanted to spend time with my loved ones and friends, my family, my community, and figure out ways to help people live their best lives. And the way for me to live my best life is helping other people, I think. And I just really enjoy that aspect of it. We're all in this together. So that's really enjoyable for me.
Very cool. You talked about having some kiddos. Are they grown now? Are they out of the house, or what's the situation there?
Yeah. They're all out of the house.
Yeah. What was that transition like to an empty nester? Is that a different stage of life?
The first 6 months are weird. It's really weird. It's really quiet. Disconcerting at first because it's so weird. It's quiet. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, it's like before I had kids. And like your time is your own. You can do different projects that before you really couldn't do, where, it's their world and you're just living it. And now it's like, oh man, I can be selfish again. You're always worrying. You never stop worrying. That part never ends.
I get it. I got a 7 and 3-year-old, and my house is not quiet. 2 boys, and I just try to soak it up because one day I'm gonna miss it, man. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like button, comment with something you learned, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. We give away more free advice on how to create wealth based on things we actually do every single day than any other channel on YouTube. Make sure to share this with a friend because our mission is to inspire you to think differently about freedom.